Hello friends, it's Lisa and welcome to my bullet journal setup for the month of November. So this month I decided for my theme to take inspiration from the new Taylor Swift album Midnights. When I set up my bullet journal this month, and also while I'm recording this voiceover, we are still pre-Midnights release. It's coming out in a couple of days, but by the time this video goes up, the album will have come out. So definitely leave me a comment down below with what your favorite songs are and I will be sure to update you all on my favorites. But right now, I'm just so excited for the release of this album. I absolutely love Taylor Swift. She's like my favorite artist. I just love her so much, and I still haven't even processed that we're getting new Taylor Swift music, and just because of the excitement that I'm feeling, I thought I would kind of base my bullet journal for this month around the Midnights album. So like I said, at the point of me setting up my bullet journal, the album hadn't come out yet, so I really was just basing it off of the kind of aesthetic of what we've seen so far, the kind of like TikTok videos that Taylor has posted, the kind of color palette of the different albums and different themes and everything, the photo shoots we've seen. I mainly based my kind of theme around those. I also did go to Pinterest and do a quick little Taylor Swift Midnights aesthetic search just to kind of get some inspiration there as well, but I mainly just wanted to have kind of the vibes of what I think the album is kind of like and kind of base it off of that. So for a lot of like the colors and like the color scheme of my bullet journal this month, I wanted to use a lot of like jewel tones. I feel like that's very much what a lot of the colors and a lot of the like special edition albums and vinyls are very much like jewel tones. So I used a lot of my acrylograph markers from Archer and Olive because I think I have like a jewel toned set. So I kind of used a lot of those markers as well as some of my Tombow markers, and I've just kind of am ripping out different pages of paper, different like blues, and I use mainly blue, green, and purples and just kind of do some funky designs. I drew a disco ball because that seems very Midnights, I don't know, and a moon of course because Midnights is nighttime. Just kind of going based off of the vibes of the album and trying to replicate that into some drawings. And a lot of these spreads I do add some stickers as well, some like cloud and gold star stickers just to add a little bit more to the spreads and to kind of add to that layered look. But I do have a gold marker that I also use to draw stars and everything, just kind of scattered across all of the pages. And yeah, that's the kind of main title page done. So now we can move on to the calendar spread. So I'm just going in and drawing a calendar as normal. I'm drawing the boxes for each day of the month, and also the boxes themselves are 5 by 5 in case anyone is curious on the size of the calendar. And then of course I go in and number the days of the week. And then on the bottom right, I decided to do those kind of squiggly line drawings. I just kind of did that to fill up space. I kind of saw it on Pinterest when I was looking up different like inspiration for this type of theme, and I saw that in one of the kind of collages someone made for this album, and I just liked the look of it. So I decided to kind of include that to fill up some space in the spreads. Again, ripping out some paper to include as well. And of course I write November at the top, and then this is where I finally decided to include a clock. It feels important to include a clock in the Midnights theme. So I'm just drawing the clock as if it was kind of coming out of the word November. I kind of wanted to do that sort of layered look with just the drawings, and I did for the numbers on the clock, I did stars because I thought that that was a good like incorporation of the different drawings I had been doing into this particular drawing. And I kind of just add some of those squiggles, some more like leafy doodles kind of around the clock, and then that is kind of what I decided to do in that corner. And then on the top right side, I decided to draw something that kind of looks like a garland, I guess, of stars. I saw a string of lights that the lights were actually stars on Pinterest when I was looking up different things for this theme, and I really liked that. I thought that that would be kind of a cool thing to draw and incorporate. I feel like just like stars and moons really fit the kind of Midnights aesthetic and fit this theme, so I wanted to definitely have a lot of like stars and moons kind of scattered throughout these spreads. And then on the bottom right, I decided to kind of include a quote from the album, or just like something that Taylor kind of keeps saying when talking about the album, "Meet me at midnight." I believe that that was in the post that she made when she announced the album, and I just really think that that was quite cool and thought that that would be a fun thing to include. In August of 2021, I did a theme in my bullet journal based off of the song August by Taylor Swift, and I liked sprinkling some of the lyrics from the song throughout the bullet journal spread, so I wanted to do that again for this, even though at this point I didn't know any of the lyrics from the album really, so I decided to include this, and I also thought it was cool because it kind of included the word midnight, which is a big part of the album, obviously, so I decided to use my stamps and kind of cut out each individual letter to kind of space them out on the bottom right-hand side of the spread, and I just really like the way it turned out. So after finishing gluing in all of the letters, I also go in and add some of the stickers, the gold stars and the cloud stickers, and then that is the calendar spread done. But while we watch me finish it up, I'd love to know if you have any exciting plans in November. If you have anything you're looking forward to next month, I'd love to know. I personally am very excited because my sister is getting married next month, and it's just going to be such a fun party. I'm so excited to celebrate them and to celebrate with them. It's just going to be so much fun, and I can't wait. And also, I'm excited because November is when me and my family typically start decorating for Christmas and watching Christmas movies, and I just look forward to this time of year all year long, so of course I'm excited for that as well. But anyway, moving on to the next spread, this is going to be my habit tracker spread, and I decided this month to set up my habits a little bit different than I normally do. I feel like most months I set up my habit trackers with mini individual calendars for each individual habit, and then it's a nice visual for kind of what the month looks like and when I've done each habit. It's like a quicker way to see when I've done each thing. But this month I wanted my spreads, setting them up, I wanted them to be a little bit easier, a little bit quicker to do, because this theme kind of came together very quickly. This was one of those months where I had no idea what I wanted the theme for my bullet journal to be, and I really needed to start filming it and getting it ready to go up, so I kind of quickly put everything together, and I also just wanted to make sure that I had time to set this up and do other things I needed to do, so I wanted to kind of make some of the spreads and some of the drawings a little bit easier to do, which is why I kind of did the habit tracker this way. I also was so surprised with how fast October has gone by. I just was not prepared at all for the fact that November was so soon and that it was time for me to do this. But anyway, for the actual habit tracker, I just wrote out the days of the month in 2 rows, and then I wrote down each habit that I wanted to track next to the 30 days, and I just wrote out each number for the day of the month, because if I don't write out the numbers, I will get confused, but I'll just kind of color in over the number when I do that habit. And I once again drew a disco ball up at the top because I just really liked the way it looked, and then I also ripped out some paper for the bottom corner and drew the kind of star garland coming off of the bottom of the box for the habits, just to kind of incorporate a little bit more of the theme into the actual habit tracker. But then that is it for the habit tracker spread. So I decided to draw some of those line doodles, squiggly lines from the habit tracker spread to the next page over, which is my monthly favorite spread. So this is where I keep track of the music that I was listening to, any shows, movies, books, anything like that I was loving, or just anything else in general that I was loving in a month. I keep track of those things on this page. So other than the stickers and the small stars that I've kind of been scattering across all of the pages this month, I did draw a telephone on the bottom right hand corner as well on this page, just kind of as a nod to the kind of TikTok series that Taylor was doing when she was revealing the titles of the songs on the album. There's also been a phone in a lot of the promo pictures for the album, so it just kind of felt appropriate to include a phone somewhere in the spreads this month. And while I finish up these spreads as well as get started on the first weekly spread for this month, I thought we could chat about some of my monthly favorites from October. So obviously, Midnights will be a favorite, even though I technically haven't heard it, but for some songs I have heard, the new Macy Peters song, as well as the new Louis Tomlinson song, I'm obsessed with them. Also, entertainment-wise, other than the Halloween movies I watch every year, I have read some great books. One of the books that's definitely a standout from the month is The Very Secret Society of Regular Witches, definitely a new favorite. And as for just general lifestyle things, my sister's bridal shower and bachelorette were in October and were so much fun, and definitely some standout memories from the month as well. Also, as you can see, we did move on to the first weekly spread for the month, so I kept it very simple, just did this horizontal layout, drew the numbers for the days of the week, drew some stars, drew some other doodles from the theme to incorporate the theme into the weekly spreads, but just kept it very simple. Like I said, I wanted all of the spreads this month to be very simple and very quick for me to do. But that is it. Those are all of the spreads for this month's bullet journal setup. So here's flip through of what all of the spreads looked like. Definitely let me know if you're excited for Midnights or if you're enjoying Midnights by Taylor Swift, because it's out when this video goes up. Let me know your favorites and let me know what you're doing for your bullet journal in the month of November. I'd love to know. But thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.